Hey guys, today we are gonna be doing this thingy try not to get scared. We have 3 lives.
Yeah, and it's like
Okay,
we get to pick what our lives look like. So
Okay,
you
they're
can pick
up.
anything.
They're
So
right.
I'm picking Foxy's my life. Foxy's my life.
Okay, so he has Foxy lives, as you can see, and Foxy, and oh wait, no.
Your unicorn lives.
Okay, unicorn lives. You just made up mine. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Let's start the video.
Where's your sister?
I was terrified of the bees that chased Winnie the Pooh. Like, whenever bees would show up on the screen when I was watching, I would start screaming, I would start crying, I would run away from the TV. So whenever my grandma or my parents watched Winnie the Pooh with me, they had to fast forward all of the scenes with the bees. I was a scaredy cat. And it's weird because, like, now in my real life, I love bees. I don't like them on me, but I think they're cute. Okay, so like always, I'm firstly gonna give you a little bit of history on Winnie the Pooh, even though I think most of you guys know who he is. I mean, he's...
So whoever wins gets to keep, gets to do whatever they want. If it's a tie, we both get to do whatever we want. Like, we can do whatever we want.
An icon. And then we'll get into the lost episode and some other...
We can,
What do you call Pooh Bear dressed up as Batman?
Pooh Man.
Guano.
What?
You know what guano is? Guano's bat poo.
Okay, so we'll do
really weird and creepy facts about him and about the show. Inspired by his son's teddy bear, A.A. Milne published Winnie the Pooh on October 14th, 1926. I actually had no idea that Winnie the Pooh was created back in the 20s. I knew he was old, but I didn't know he was that old. The very first book about the silly old bear also included Piglet, Eeyore, and Kanga. All the toys in the books are based off of real toys belonging to Christopher Robin. So the man who created Winnie the Pooh got inspired by his son's plushies. Essentially. It wasn't until the second book, called The House at Pooh Corner, that Tigger was introduced, and he was also based on one of Christopher Robin's stuffed animals. The House at Pooh Corner. I mean, am I just like a 2-year-old in my brain, or is that like kind of a funny name? Imagine like a teacher in a classroom at reading time. Alright class, gather around. Today I'm going to read you the book called The House at Pooh Corner. I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of Winnie the Pooh, like, I love that guy. I'm just like a 2-year-old, like I still have like potty brain. Anyways though, once the first books came out with Winnie the Pooh and his friends, everyone instantly loved them, and soon after they came out with the TV shows and the movies that we all know and love. Except, I don't know about you guys, but there was this Winnie the Pooh movie that came out in 2005, so I was like pretty young. It was called Pooh's Heffalump Movie, and I remember being so creeped out by this movie. The description says, after hearing what they believe is the dreaded Huffalump, Winnie the Pooh and his friends set out to trap the monster. So I just remember the Huffalump being described as this really creepy, scary creature in the woods. And it was like my first horror movie. No, honestly, if you watch it as an adult, it's obviously not scary, but I feel like I'm not alone in saying that that movie freaked kids out. So let's talk about the lost episode, because obviously that's why you clicked on this video. So there are a lot of different versions of what this episode was about, so I'm gonna read you one of those versions. The title of this lost episode was allegedly named Making Friends the Easy Way. For some reason, when this episode started, they totally skipped the intro. If you guys used to watch Winnie the Pooh, they had like their whole intro song sequence. This episode just started. There was no intro. It begins with Winnie the Pooh waking up in bed, and he was looking around his room and he noticed that the door was open. He looked around scared and confused. He started saying things like, hello? Is anybody there? He walked out of his door and looked around and didn't see anybody. He couldn't see his friends. He couldn't see a single creature outside in the woods at all. He fell to his knees and said, why did you all leave me? So he's thinking that his friends literally literally just deserted him. I don't deserve this, he said, and he started punching the dirt. I need friends. I need to go find some friends. So he got up and started walking through the woods looking for friends. Suddenly, as he was walking, he saw a child in the woods and walked up to this child. It says the child waved at him. And then Winnie the Pooh says, "Friends forever," and leans over and gobbles down the child.
Oh my god.
And apparently kids who were watching this episode were mortified to see like Winnie the Pooh's mouth open really wide and like gobble the child. It kind of reminds me of like Pennywise, if you guys have watched the It movies. After he gobbles down this child, he turns his head to look at the screen of the TV and says, "You're next." The screen goes black and the words Finn show up on the screen. So that's really